Welcome to my presentation, everyone. My project's name is Post-Secondary Now. It is a new resource for Ontario students to begin learning and preparing themselves for career planning and post-secondary planning. So, why is this a project? Here are some of the major reasons why this project was necessary to be created. The project was created due to the severe lack of resources I had during my own high school experience, which allowed me to realize that I was not the only student that felt this way. What I learned from my earlier renditions of my user testing was that majority of students that needed guidance with post-secondary did not get it due to them not having a reliable source of information that could guide them to begin doing that research on their own. Students felt that information was too difficult to acquire, so in many cases they did nothing and allowed themselves to make poor decisions when it came to their final year of high school. In Ontario, there is a severe lack of guidance counselors due to many of the education cuts. This will make the process of learning about post-secondary more difficult than it already was. This project gives those students seeking guidance an easily accessible source of information that will give them the confidence to begin doing their research on their own. Currently, in high schools, this process is confusing and difficult. Students do not have a one-stop shop that easily elaborates the questions they may have as they approach their final year. Here are some examples of the resources students currently have. So, this is an example of some of the results a student would be receiving as they begin their research. In this first example, you can see a multitude of results that are clearly confusing. Based on my user testing, the average high school student does not spend enough time analyzing what is presented to them, so if they cannot find the result they are looking for on the first page of Google, they are more than likely to stop trying to find results. The second example is the How to Apply page from Ontario College's website. I was not able to find this page easily, and based on my user testing, my users disregarded what was presented to them. I found that my users would read the first paragraph and stop. So, how did this project develop? This project began development with paper prototypes. These prototypes allowed me to understand the core values of my users. I began to understand the importance of simplistic, chunked information and the value of information being explained and easily understandable. Throughout the different developments of this project, I found myself reiterating the information due to its complex nature, and instead, I broke it down in layman terms in order for my user to be able to easily digest the information. For example, the importance of defining words such as loan, grant, admission standards, common educational terms that to someone who's unfamiliar, they may not understand. As I progressed to my current prototype, I had to change the information architecture, so I refined the information and made sure that any uncertainties within the web page were clearly explained so that someone at the high school level would be able to easily understand what is being presented. As you can tell in these examples, I added more guidance to the web page. Also, the inclusion of common student questions broke down so that the information is much more explained for someone who is just beginning to learn about the post-secondary process. The product is a web portal that is fully accessible. The service provides users with the first steps to begin their venture in researching and learning what is necessary to partake in post-secondary education. If users want to learn more about post-secondary but do not know where to begin, the service offers the first steps a student should take to begin their process of learning more about post-secondary. So, how does it function? The way that the application functions is by accessing the web portal from a computer, smartphone, or device, or by scanning a QR code that would be located in high school campuses. Once the user lands on the web page, they will be presented with questions regarding what it is they are trying to accomplish. The user then will be able to browse throughout the portal to learn more about admission standards, finding a school, how to apply, loans, grants, scholarships, and how to transfer credits. These were deemed as necessities when first beginning to learn about post-secondary, based on user testing. As a user searches the portal, they are provided with basic definitions and helpful links that will guide the user to further research. The important aspect of this portal is every necessary piece of external information that is provided on a singular platform. that explains exactly what it is a student would want to know and need to know. So, does it address your user's needs and benefits sought? It does. The user needs is access to an accessible web page that has all the necessary information for a student to begin learning more about career planning and post-secondary education on their own. This was my main find from user testing. Students could not find or use that resource, not from the services provided on campus or online. When a student feels that way, they resort to doing nothing, or they may have discussions with friends and family, but ultimately they would make a poor decision that could potentially waste their time and money. This portal allows students to access the information in a way that will allow them to understand the important aspects of creating a career plan or post-secondary plan, due to the way that information is presented and explained. This is the first web portal of its kind, and as the Ontario government continues to remove guidance counselors off campus, they have yet to create or find an alternative to help the students in Ontario begin creating a plan for their future.